Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Week from Rockdale, and I'm your host, Larry Cox. Glad to be here. Glad to have all you folks with me here tonight. And since I do have a bunch of folks here tonight, I'm going to go ahead and start by saying hello and thanking everyone for joining me tonight. So, Catherine Lynn, nice to have you here. Mary, excuse me, Marie Withers. Nice to have you here tonight. And Clayton Orwig. Great to see you, Clayton. Tommy Lee. Dan Burks. William Campbell. Charlotte Gellert. Laura Skelton. I believe that's everyone who has said hello in the chat tonight. Uh, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And I am, again, James Corbett. Good day. I am again broadcasting live from my home. I just got back from out of town a little bit ago, so I am doing it from the home studio. And like I said, my internet's not quite as good here, so if I have any hiccups or any audio or video issues, sorry about that in advance. But that's as good as it's going to get tonight with me traveling. I went to West Virginia for a few days, visit family up there, and take care of some business in that state. So glad to be back home in Georgia. Glad to be back in Rockdale County, even though we've got a lot of stuff going on in Rockdale. Still home. Like to first of all, if you did not watch the show Wednesday when I came on just to do my update. Just to like to let you know that we had an update on Sherry Washington, the post one commissioner in Rockdale County. The state bar had recommended that she be disbarred, and and she has been. The court ruled in favor of that motion that the state bar had made, and they did disbar Sherry Washington. They disbarred her for those acts of taking funds from clients and not representing them. Uh, to me, that's a criminal act because she did it more than once. It was intentional, and it's something she did multiple times. Don't think she should hold that commission seat, but you know that's something that the citizens of Rockdale County are going to have to take up. That's not they're decide is that an important thing that they want to do. Do they want to take on the system? Do they want to do a recall? After we talked about this Wednesday, and then the Rockdale voter had sent an email out. There were many people went on to the Rockdale voter site and signed a petition and requested that she resign. And those petitions go directly to Sherry Washington, and they go to the rest of the Board of Commission. So they're very much aware uh, what's going on with that. They're very much aware that 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 happens. That that they're getting these requests to resign. I want to talk about something James says you love the drive up through West Virginia. It's up through 77 to US 19 to 79, going to Pittsburgh. Yeah, I live. We live right off the Beckley exit there. We live, over toward the Sophia area in West Virginia. There, you get off the exit 42 off of 77 there in the Beckley area, and that's where I grew up in that area, and still have family there. We have property there, so we love to go back and visit, and it is a beautiful drive up through there. Also, and then in the fall time with the foliage, it is just a fantastic, beautiful drive. Recommend anybody who hasn't, if they want to see the fall foliage, that's a great place to go. Uh, um, and it's just crazy. But going back to Sherry Washington, I got distracted, and squirrel, that goes. Got distracted, but you know, it's something the citizens are going to have to decide what they want to do. I mean, there is justification for recall. It does meet the standard that if such a recall would take place, it does meet the standard. I do know some citizens who have reached out to me on Wednesday. Said the first thing they were going to do was reach out to the chairman, try to have a conversation with him about him asking Post One Commission seat holder Sherry Washington to resign. And if that didn't go anywhere, they intended on following through with a recall request. So, the Rockdale voter, I am certain will help with that. Will be more than glad to get involved in that if that's what these guys want to do. Because I do feel that the citizens of Rockdale County, they do deserve better as far as that goes. I mean, Dan, as far as consulting an attorney, I mean, I have talked to several attorneys about this, reached out to the Secretary of State's office about it, talked to the Board of Elections, who have also reached out to the Secretary of State's office. And I think we all know what the recourse is. The recourse is she doesn't have to resign. They can pressure her, but ultimately it comes down to only someone with a conscience and regret would actually resign. And I don't think that commission Post One holder Sherry Washington has that. I don't think she has a conscience, and I don't think she cares. So you're not going to have that individual resign. The recourse is going to be that one would have to do a recall. And if they do that, then it's a very short time period you have to get those signatures and get that done. So we'll see what happens with that. But then, and then also, we've got this general election coming up in November, but in just 2 short years again, you've got to look. It'll be a year and a half. You'll have primary season again. So I really realistically think that the voters of Rockdale County and these citizens who are not happy with Post One Commission holder Sherry Washington, that they really gear up for the 24 primary, and that's where they will actually defeat and rid themselves of Post One Commission holder Sherry Washington. And you guys, you may notice clearly how I'm stating that Post One Commission holder Sherry Washington, and that's how I will refer to her moving forward as Post One Commission holder Sherry Washington. So that's, to me, she's just someone that holds that post. She does not deserve or dignify the title of what the person that holds that post should. So that's what I see it as. So, but that's that, and then, I think it's up to the citizens to really move in that direction and do what they need to do with that. Because I don't see, this commission actually saying anything or coming down on her. The other two, they're just going to ride the wave into the beach and let it flow. What they're going to do. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. But we did have another election this past week, and we mentioned that on the midweek report too. We mentioned that Jamie Jones defeated Tony Dowdy, and some might consider that an upset because Tony was a former 2-time official in that position as a Board of Education post holder. So Jamie Jones, a newcomer to politics here in Rockdale County. Tony Dowdy had been an established name and an established brand in Rockdale County. Had served for 2 terms. As someone told me, had all the support, all the money, and couldn't be beat. Damn, all the money, all the support, and still got beat. Isn't that something? Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So let's move on from that topic. Enough is enough. So the courthouse committee, I guess they met this past week, court task force. And from what I gather, it was just same old, rehashing what other citizens groups had done in the past. And I'm going to just say this point blank. I do not consider this task force a citizens group. They may be citizens, but this task force does not represent the citizens of Rockdale County. This task force represents the Board of Commission. There's a big difference. If this task force actually represented the citizens of Rockdale County, then it wouldn't just be a singular focused task force. If it represented the citizens of Rockdale County, they would be looking at this past election. They would be looking at ballot questions that had been asked and how the citizens of Rockdale County answered those ballot questions. It was very clear by the way the citizens answered those ballot questions. They don't want a courthouse in them. It was also very clear by the way they answered those questions. They really don't want to build a new courthouse at Parker Road. I think if we would have asked a different question, would you want to remodel and expand the existing courthouse? I think that's where people would have said yes. I think that's where they want it to go. But not going to go that way. And I'll tell you, this is the thing about it. I mean, we've been looking at all the indicators. The economists have been putting their 2 cents out there into it. We are heading toward, or if we are not already in a recession. That is happening. It is very fiscally irresponsible for this county government to even begin the process of building a new building in Old Town at this time with the economic disaster that is looming ahead of us. You know, we've given raises. They have been hiring and pumped up the number of employees in the county. And I'll tell you what will happen. I mean, when this recession full blow hits, they're going to have to do layoffs because they're going to lose monies because their housing market is going to crash. Already, our economists are already talking about there's going to be a correction with housing. We're going to see it from coast to coast. You're going to see a dramatic realignment or correction in the market, and that is going to impact the county and their coffers. You know, it is just ridiculous, guys. I mean, what we're looking at and what this county is doing is fiscally irresponsible. And this is what we can look at. They're still going to go full bore ahead with this bogus task force. And I'm going to just point out and say this is a bogus task force because this task force represents the county commission. It does not represent the citizens of this county. The citizens of this county do not want that courthouse built in Old Town. They actually don't want a courthouse built at all. They want to renovate and expand onto the existing one. That's what the citizens of this county want. But does it matter what the citizens of this county want? No. And one of the reasons it doesn't matter is because of the fault of the citizens of this county. Because even though we say things and we let our opinion be known, we contrarily give a different opinion at the ballot box. Because when you, the citizens, continually go out and vote and reelect these clowns, you are sending mixed messages. No, we don't want you to do this, this, and this, but we're going to put you back in there knowing that you're going to listen to us. And guess what? They don't really listen to you. So you guys, you citizens of Rockdale County have got to wake up and smell the roses. You have got to wake up and realize you can't send one message and then in the next instance go and reelect these individuals and expect them to do something totally different than what they've been doing. And when you send them back, with, I mean, why would they do anything different? Um, these two clowns that are, that are in there now, that will be facing reelection in 24, they'll do what they want the rest of this year and probably uh, half of next year, and then they'll start changing their tune a little bit and talking a little different story, because it'll be election cycle time. That's what that's what you see them do. Guys. I mean, we need to realize that. Uh, uh, Replying to William Cannon, Rockdale voters like their corrupt politicians. Apparently, they do. Uh, uh, Charlotte says it seems it would be difficult to know. Charlotte, I disagree. I totally disagree. We've never really tried, and I think you can address all those with creative construction. Uh, I think we can by expansion and remodel. I think we can address all the issues that we would want to with an expansion and a remodel. I just visited my hometown, and that courthouse is older than the courthouse that we have here in Conyers. First of all, you can actually accept, if you go to the judicial area, you can just walk in that courthouse and there's no, that the first floor areas, I mean, if you want to go pay taxes, you pay taxes in there. You register to vote in that courthouse. You do all that. That's all on the first floor, and in the basement of that courthouse, you don't have to do security and go through all that there. But if you want to go to the judicial part, which you have to go upstairs to, then you've got to go through security measures and such. But there are ways to do it. We just need to quit saying you can't do it. No, they say they can't do it because they don't want to do it. I'm in the construction industry. We can do about anything we want to do. We put our mind to it. Clayton Oregon, I think you're an engineer. I mean, you can attest to that. I mean, if we really want to do something, we can find a way to do it. We can find a way to construct it. I mean, I've been in a different type of construction industry for 30 years, but if there's a will, we'll find a way. And that's the same thing with that courthouse. I mean, we could renovate and add on. I mean, they say all day long they can't. They say they can't because they don't want to. If they wanted to, there wouldn't be a problem with it. And we could do that for a lot less money than build anything new and whatever. So if they really want to keep that judicial complex and facility thing, Alex McDonald is also in the construction industry, and he's in that type of construction also, guys. Anything is possible in construction, and that's true. Anything is possible, because if you can design it and draw it, you can build it. And it's a Clayton Norwick engineer just said, no doubt, want versus cost. And Alex with TPS, they'd rather fool people into believing it's not possible, and that is the truth. It's a lie. So I'm not even going to I'm not even going to spread the lie anymore that it's something we have to do. No, we don't have to build a new courthouse. It's something they want to do. We could do what we needed to do with the building, a lot less money, a lot less footprint that they want to do, if they're that set on having that portion of government stay in Old Town, then just do something with the facility you have. Because listen, when they talk about it being not safe and dangerous and all this, guys, even if they build this new complex, they don't intend on tearing that building down. They intend on renovating and keeping it. So quit listening to the lies and the nonsense. It's lies and nonsense. And remember, guys, that's not a citizens task force. That is a group of individuals who were put together by the Board of Commission to actually advocate for what they want. It is a group of citizens put together to advocate for the Board of Commission. It is the Board of Commission's task force. It is not a citizens task force. And we just need to quit playing games and going along with the nonsense. But that's what it is. And Catherine, but they want to build a new administrative complex also, not just a courthouse. Now they want to do a lot of things. They want a new complex, and but they've got an administrative building right now that they could either remodel or tear that thing down and build something right back there. What they want and what they need and what they should do are two different things. Alex just made how many expansions to the White House have there been? Okay, and you're right. I mean, the White House been totally destroyed before, rebuilt, expanded. I mean, he's right. They have done many things to the White House, and that's a great example, Alex. Thank you for that example. So, guys, I mean, we got to realize we can do things that they say we can't do. They say it because they don't want it to happen. So that's where we've got to realize as citizens, it's time to put a stop to the spreading of the lies and acknowledging the false narratives that they throw out there. So I'm not going to acknowledge anymore. I'm going to call the task force what it is. It's the commission's task force to come up with the commission's plan. That's all it is. And they keep their security modern. Perhaps our elected just aren't sophisticated enough to understand modern technology. That's what Alex just said about that's the White House and stuff. And they can. We can do all those things, but will we do them? I don't think so. I think they're going to still do what they want to do. They're going to put us in debt in a recession. They're going to go ahead and start building something they know they don't have enough money for. And I think that's what we've got to realize. And the question needs to be asked. You don't have enough money to build what you want to build, but you're going to break ground and do it anyway, knowing that when you get halfway through, you're going to have to go back to the legislature, ask them to change or amend the Public Facilities Authority legislation and increase it so they can get more money. It's what you're going to have to do because they're not going to have a chance. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to tear the old courthouse down, CJ. They plan on renovating it and making something and doing other things with it. They have never intended on tearing that building down. They've never intended on not using it. So when they keep talking about it not being safe, being dangerous, they don't intend on not using that building, guys. That building's not going anywhere. And then actually some of these guys on this task force talk about still using two of the old courtrooms in that building. Even though they're going to build this new building, they still talk about using two of those old courtrooms in that building. Heard it with my own ears. I think Charlotte Gellert, you may have heard that. Dan Burks, you may have heard that also at the first meeting. That's what they talked about doing. So, guys, totally ridiculous. So I'm going to shift a little bit here, and I'm going to, oh, my back. I'm going to talk about the Board of Education since we talked about Janie Jones just got a letter to the Board of Education, over, former BOE member Tony Dowdy. So the way it goes, guys. I talked on the show Wednesday about where I believe we need to revamp even how we fund education in this country. That basic education, basic fundamental education, to everybody. Then and if you want to do additional things, then we need to have means test. Those people who can afford additional things, they afford additional things. People who show the aptitude, we do scholarships. We give them, scholarships and grants for additional. Basic, yes, but we go beyond basic with what we're doing. We fund a Cadillac education and we get a Gremlin. Y'all guys know the old Gremlin vehicle? We fund the Cadillac, but we actually get the Gremlin in the driveway. We fund the Cadillac, get the Gremlin in the driveway. So what I'm going to actually fight for and start working for is things I believe in. I don't believe that our current funding system works. I don't believe it's fair. Um, I believe that the the seniors in this country are punished when someone gets over 70 years old. I don't think you should pay property tax on anything. Where I come from, originally West Virginia, homestead exemption there is when you reach a certain age, when you're over 70, you don't pay. It's means tested too. But if you're at a certain means test and you're over 70, you pay no property taxes, none whatsoever. So someone who was on a full retirement and they didn't have additional income, they would not pay property tax. And, but guys, you're 70 years old and you don't live forever. That property goes back into the tax cycle as soon as that person passes away. That property will go back. It'll go back to relatives. It'll be inherited by someone, and the homestead exemption will be lost, and it goes back into the tax coffers. I do not believe that the elderly should be forced to pay for taxes forever for property. I think in this country that we need to actually at some point own the property that we say we own. I don't believe in paying taxes for property forever. I believe at a certain age that you actually need to really own the land that you live on, really own that land and not pay property taxes any longer and get a true property tax exemption. It's what I believe. It's what I think. And that's what I think we need to go back to. And I think we're going to have to be creative and come up with a different funding mechanism for education. But that's fine. We can do that if we want. We're intelligent people. We can come up with a funding mechanism. And also it might eliminate a lot of the waste because they have more. We don't have a money problem in anything in America. We have a spending problem. There's plenty of money allocated to everything. We just spend more money than's allocated. We have a spending problem, not a money problem. Alex McDonald liked that. They could. Let me put that one up there. Actually, they could call that the Doreen Williams exemption. I like that, Alex. They could. So Alex says they could call that the Doreen Williams exemption, right? She didn't pay anything on anything. So, but I personally believe that. That's something that I think we need to do. I think there needs to be a permanent exemption when you reach so old, you really own it. Because if you don't pay your taxes on it, you really don't own it. They go to the courthouse steps and they sell your property for your taxes owed. And they bid you. People go bid on it. You don't pay. You don't really own anything. As long as you give them money, they let you think you own it. So I think it's time that we as citizens like to really own the property that we own, or we say we own, or that you pretend we own. At some point, we need to really not have to pay fees. That's what I think. So, that's what I think about it. So, but I wanted to come on, talk about these few things tonight. I really didn't want to stay on long because I am beat, guys. I drove 9 hours today and got home a little bit ago. And if you guys would tolerate it, I would like to just wrap up tonight and tell you that moving forward, I'm going to fight for these things. I'm going to talk about these things, and I'm not going to acknowledge false things. I'm going to call it out what it is, what it is. One more thing. We'll come on Wednesday because I do want to Wednesday remind people of what I'm going to remind you about now. The Red, White, and Boom celebration next Sunday in Old Town. Love this country. Love what we stand for. So we will be having a Red, White, and Boom celebration celebrating the birth of America, celebrating them. So it'll be great to see everybody out there. Like I say, depending on what you do in Old Town, guys, don't even know if this will be the last thing like this in Conyers or not. Because if they do go to build this thing in Old Town, there's room to do all that. So so that's the way it goes. But guys, I will see you all Wednesday on the midweek report, and I promise I'll go an hour Wednesday, and I'm gonna talk about some stuff and fire some people up. So thanks. See you guys Wednesday, and anybody needs to give me any information, reach out. I'll be available. Thanks, guys. Bye.